After the Tournament of Power, Dragon Ball Super fans were starving for new content. The anime had started a hiatus that is running even to this day, leaving only the manga to carry the torch forward. What followed were two back-to-back story arcs that honestly felt like Toriyama and Toyotaro finally remembered what made the franchise great in the first place. The Galactic Patrol Prisoner Saga and the Granolah the Survivor Saga delivered villains with actual presence, along with training arcs that mattered and character development for Vegeta that fans have been begging for since the beginning of Dragon Ball Super. These manga-exclusive story arcs span from chapters 42 to 87, covering roughly 4 years of monthly releases. This is a massive chunk of storytelling, and the pacing reflects a confidence that earlier Super arcs sometimes lacked. The Tournament of Power crammed dozens of fighters into a condensed time frame. The Goku Black arc juggled time travel mechanics that occasionally tripped over themselves, but these story arcs are given plenty of room to breathe. In this video, I'll be breaking down everything that's happened across these two story arcs. We'll be talking about a 10 million year old planet-eating wizard, Vegeta finally getting his own unique transformation, as well as Bardock receiving substantial characterization for the first time since his TV special, and who could forget Black Frieza casually one-shotting Goku and Vegeta. So without further delay, here is my complete breakdown of the Moro and Granolah arcs. So we start with the Moro arc that picks up right after the events of Dragon Ball Super Broly. The manga briefly acknowledges this through Goku and Vegeta's dialogue. They faced a legendary Super Saiyan, fused into Gogeta, and emerged victorious. By any reasonable measure, they should be coasting on confidence, but this is not how Dragon Ball works. The arc opens by reminding us that the universe is vast, ancient, and full of threats that predate the Saiyan history. The Galactic Patrol, an organization that we've only seen glimpses of through Jakko, suddenly becomes central to the plot. They function as the universe's first line of defense against cosmic-level threats, and they've been doing this job for millions of years. So we see Goku and Vegeta sparring in the gravity training room at Capsule Corp. It's just another Tuesday for them. When asked about Ultra Instinct, Goku admits that he hasn't been able to access it since the Tournament of Power. This detail establishes an important baseline. Goku isn't starting this arc at full power. He's actually regressed in some way, unable to reliably trigger his greatest transformation to date. When Bulma interrupts them about some mysterious gang trying to kidnap Buu, they race over to Saturn House expecting another low-stakes encounter. The kidnappers appear to be typical goons, but Goku and Vegeta get way more than they bargained for. Miras, the leader of the kidnappers, knocks both Saiyans unconscious with a stun gun before they can even process what's happening. Two of the strongest mortals in the universe are out cold, and this humiliation is intentional, as it establishes that conventional power scaling isn't going to protect you from everything. Miras isn't stronger than them, but he is definitely more prepared than them. When Goku wakes up at the Galactic Patrol headquarters, Miras explains the situation. A dangerous criminal named Moro has escaped from Galactic prison, and recapturing him requires the Grand Supreme Kai, who just so happens to be sealed inside of Good Buu. The Galactic King himself presides over the briefing, emphasizing the threat's severity. Moro represents an extinction-level threat. Things get really interesting as we learn 10 million years ago, Moro was able to absorb the life energy of entire planets and convert it into his own power. Draining a planet's energy involves life wilting, oceans evaporating, continents cracking as he consumes everything that makes a world alive. The Grand Supreme Kai and South Supreme Kai fought him, and even then, the only way to stop him was for the Grand Supreme Kai to sacrifice all of his godly power to seal Moro's magic away. In the Dragon Ball manga, when Majin Buu split, the godly power from the Grand Supreme Kai went over to the evil Buu, as it eventually transferred to Kid Buu, and it eventually became a part of Oob. Goku and Vegeta volunteered to help capture Moro, earning them temporary positions in the Galactic Patrol. They refuse to wear the goofy outfits, but they accept having the insignia slapped onto their regular clothing. Moro's target is obvious once you think about it: New Namek and its Dragon Balls. The Namekians relocated after Frieza destroyed their original planet, establishing a secret homeworld that most of the universe doesn't know exists. But Moro's magic lets him sense concentrations of life energy across vast distances. A planet full of Namekians, beings who are known for creating Dragon Balls, is exactly what he needs to restore his full power. When Goku and Vegeta arrive, they find the weakened looking Moro, centuries of imprisonment have left him looking like a frail old goat. He lacks the imposing physical presence of villains like Cell or Frieza. He's hunched, wrinkled, and his voice is carrying the rasp of extreme age. Vegeta decides to confront Moro first, and there's something genuinely moving about this choice. This is a man who once murdered Namekians without hesitation, and now he wants to defend their descendants. His atonement here is not performative. He's not seeking forgiveness or validation from the Namekians. He's simply seen an opportunity to do something decent and he takes it. But this is Vegeta's big mistake. Moro's abilities extend beyond raw power. His magic lets him drain energy from opponents while they're fighting him, and worse, he can weaponize the very planet beneath their feet. Vegeta transforms to Super Saiyan God, thinking that he's got this handled. He lands a solid hit on Moro, and the impact sends shockwaves through the area. Everything seems under control. But then Moro summons torrents of energy directly from New Namek's core, slamming Vegeta into the ground repeatedly. The planet itself becomes Moro's weapon. Lava erupts, the ground splits as Vegeta can't find stable footing anywhere because the battlefield is actively trying to kill him. Moro is not fighting in a fair or honorable manner. He isn't interested in a warrior's duel. He's an ancient predator who has learned that every fight is about extraction, not competition. He doesn't want to prove that he's stronger, instead he wants to drain you until there's nothing left. Vegeta pushes to Super Saiyan Blue, managing to hold his own briefly, but Moro has been absorbing his energy throughout the fight. The energy drain is subtle at first, but then it becomes catastrophic. Both Saiyans get drained completely and they are left for dead as Moro collects the Namekian Dragon Balls. The Namekians attempt a desperate countermeasure. Several dozen of their strongest warriors fuse into a single mighty warrior, a technique that represents their species' final resort. But Moro kills the fused Namekian instantly. He does so in such a casual manner before he can even fully materialize. The gap in power here isn't something that can be overcome through conventional means. The Namekians rescue Goku and Vegeta, nursing them back from the brink of death while Moro continues gathering the Dragon Balls village by village. Here's something that the Moro arc does brilliantly. It pays off Boo's entire existence. The Galactic Patrol's hypnotist manages to awaken the Grand Supreme Kai's memories that are sealed within Boo, and suddenly we're watching a different fighter. Boo now channels the Grand Supreme Kai as he confronts Moro directly on New Namek. The fight goes badly for Moro almost immediately. The unique body structure of Boo means that energy absorption doesn't work properly on him. His regeneration outpaces any damage that Moro inflicts. He sprouts 4 extra arms from his body and pummels Moro into the ground repeatedly. Goku watches in shock. Despite not seeing Boo fight for years, he seems even stronger than before. Miras theorizes that this newfound strength relates to unlocking Boo's potential after his memory restoration. Moro gets desperate. He's thrown against rocks, slammed into craters, and he's being dominated by a being he assumes would be easy prey. Boo grabs Moro's limbs, immobilizing him completely, and prepares to use the sealing technique that originally imprisoned Moro 10 million years ago. But suddenly the sky darkens. Cranberry, Moro's pilot, a former Frieza Force soldier, has gathered the Dragon Balls during the chaos and summoned Porunga. The Namekian survivors try to intervene, but Cranberry resorts to violence against anyone who approaches, including Elder Mori. Moro telepathically contacts Cranberry from across the battlefield, demanding his magic power be restored as one of the wishes. Cranberry complies as Moro's magical power surges back instantly. The Grand Supreme Kai within Boo realizes with horror that he no longer possesses the godly power needed for the sealing technique. That power went to the evil Boo when they split and vanished when Goku destroyed Kid Boo with the Spirit Bomb years ago. Moro kills Cranberry immediately after the wishes are granted, preventing any testimony about what was wished for. The third wish, releasing all galactic prisoners, remains a secret that our heroes only discover when prisoners start appearing across the universe. This is where the Moro arc begins to fire on all cylinders Krillin does when it comes to character development. Goku and Vegeta split up to train, and for once they are pursuing completely different methodologies. Goku stays with Miras, who takes him to a room similar to the hyperbolic time chamber where 1 day equals 3 days inside. Miras knows about Ultra Instinct and seems to understand exactly what Goku needs to break through his plateau. There's something mysterious about this galactic patrol member. He's too skilled, knowledgeable, and composed under pressure. Vegeta senses concealed power in him early on, but Miras deflects every question that is sent his way. Vegeta meanwhile heads to planet Yardrad, the very planet where Goku learned the instant transmission. The Yardrats greet him warmly, having heard about him from Goku years ago, but Vegeta isn't here to learn teleportation. He wants to understand spirit control, the foundational technique that enables all of Yardrat's abilities. Elder Pyabara explains that the Yardrats aren't actually a powerful race. They've devoted themselves to one discipline, learning to manipulate their own spirit in ways that allow for instant transmission, multiform, gigantification, and other seemingly miraculous feats. Vegeta's training focuses on achieving balance between body and spirit. This is something that he struggles with because of his volatile nature. The contrast between both of their training methodologies reflects their personalities perfectly. Goku needs to empty his heart and mind to achieve Ultra Instinct, a technique that requires abandoning conscious thought. Vegeta needs to master himself on a spiritual level, confronting his imbalances head-on rather than suppressing them. While they are training, the forces of Moro descend on Earth. The prisoners aren't random thugs, as many of them possess significant combat abilities, and the coordinated invasion creates multiple simultaneous crises. The Macaroni siblings provide comedic relief as incompetent criminal fodder, but the real threats are far more dangerous. 7-3, an android capable of copying anyone's abilities by touching their neck, stands out immediately. His bulky artificial design, along with that distinctive orb on his forehead, marks him as something different from the organic fighters around him. He stores copied abilities and can switch between them, creating terrifying adaptability. This detail becomes critical later. 7-3 creates complete backups of individuals, preserving their combat data indefinitely. Moro has him copy his own abilities and combat skills, creating a failsafe that the heroes don't initially understand. Gohan, Piccolo, and the Earth's defenders hold the line as best they can. The initial wave of prisoners falls easily enough. Android 17 and 18 clear entire battalions. Gohan and Piccolo work in perfect coordination, and even Krillin and Jaco contribute meaningfully to the defense. But then 7-3 changes everything. The android copies Piccolo's abilities first, gaining access to the special beam cannon, Hellzone grenade, arm extension techniques, and even the giant Namekian transformation. The fight becomes a nightmare for Piccolo, watching his own techniques used against him by a soulless machine. 7-3 fires off the special beam cannon with perfect form, stretches his arms to grab Piccolo from unexpected angles, and he even grows to match Piccolo when he attempts the giant transformation. Gohan then activates his ultimate form and charges in to help. He lands several solid blows on 7-3, actually pushing the android back. For a moment, it seems like Gohan might be able to turn the tide, but 7-3 has already copied another ability that Gohan doesn't know about. The 30-minute time limit expires, and 7-3 switches to his stored copy of Moro's energy-draining powers. The android doesn't need to touch necks anymore. He can absorb energy from anyone nearby. Gohan feels his strength vanishing mid-punch. Piccolo staggers, Krillin and Jaco collapse to their knees as their life force is getting sucked out simultaneously. Gohan refuses to stay down. Even as his power drains, he keeps attacking and protecting his allies as he's buying time. There's a panel in the manga where you see the exhaustion in his face, but the determination hasn't dimmed at all. This is the Gohan who defeated Cell, buried under years of peaceful living, but he hasn't gone. The Z Fighters are getting slaughtered as Piccolo, ever the pragmatist, tells the prisoners that even if they fail today, Goku and Vegeta will return stronger than ever to finish them off. He's buying time with words because his body has nothing left to offer. The declaration intrigues Moro enough to call a retreat. If it's true that Goku and Vegeta will return stronger, then there'll be an even better meal for Moro. Moro gives them 2 months to prepare for annihilation. The time limit creates genuine tension. Every day of training matters, and it seems like every strategic decision that the Z Fighters make carries weight. fight. It's great seeing the Z fighters prepare for war rather than waiting for Goku to show up and save the day. The 2-month time skip gives us one of the most satisfying Vegeta moments in the entire run of the Super manga. He has mastered what he calls forced spirit fission, a technique that can separate anything combined through fusion or absorption. When he finally senses Goku's energy fading during the battle against Moro on Earth, he successfully uses instant transmission for the first time to get there. Vegeta transforms into Super Saiyan Blue evolution and immediately challenges Moro. Everyone thinks that he's lost his mind. Moro just manhandled Goku's Ultra Instinct sign. Why would Blue evolution fare any better? But Piccolo recognizes something. Vegeta has never been one to misread an opponent's strength.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
The fight continues and gradually Moro starts looking older, weaker and more desperate. Energy visibly is leaving his body and it coalesces in the sky. Goku pieces it together first. Vegeta is dismantling Moro from the inside. Every planet's stolen energy, every life force consumed over millions of years, Vegeta is freeing all of it. All of that spirit you stole for yourself, those souls, that life energy, I've simply liberated it. Moro returns to his ancient, decrepit form, while Vegeta stands triumphant as he expresses his philosophical opposition to fusion and absorption. These techniques don't reflect true strength, as the Saiyan way is to fight with your own power or don't fight at all. The energy returns to its rightful places across the universe. On new Namekians who died during Moro's assault are revived. Vegeta has not just beaten Moro, he's undone millions of years of damage. Victory appears to be in sight until Moro plays his final card. Using his remaining magic, he escapes to Saganbo's spaceship and swallows 7-3 whole. The absorption grants him access to all of 7-3's copied abilities, including the ones from Moro himself that have been stored as a backup. Moro emerges looking radically different. He has half of his original appearance and half of 7-3's android aesthetic. What's worse is that he now has all of 7-3's copied abilities without the 30-minute time limit. Piccolo's regeneration is also there, along with Vegeta's forced spirit fission. The ability to copy more techniques just by touching someone's neck is also present. He copies Vegeta's forced spirit fission instantly, making the fusion or Potara options completely useless. He runs his hand through Goku's chest, nearly killing him, while demonstrating that his regeneration is now instant. Gohan goes berserk with rage and gets demolished without making Moro flinch. Miras finally intervenes, revealing his true nature in the process. He is in fact an angel, Whis' younger brother sent to the mortal world to broaden his perspective. Angel law prohibits him from fighting, from taking sides in conflicts between mortals, but watching Goku and Piccolo and everyone that he's come to care about getting slaughtered, he cannot just stand on the sidelines and be neutral anymore. Mira seals away Moro's copy abilities using his angel staff, knowing full well what this means. Angels who break their code don't just get punished, they get eradicated from existence. As he begins fading away, he tells Goku that at his current level of strength, achieving true Ultra Instinct will be far more stable than ever before. I've come to love this galaxy, this universe full of excitement, please protect it all. Goku watches his friend evaporate and something changes inside of him. His silver hair emerges, perfected Ultra Instinct, but it's more calmer and more controlled than ever before. Moro is unable to land a single attack. Every offensive attempt gets countered as Goku's body is not just reacting, it is actually predicting what's happening. Moro gets desperate. Earlier he grabbed Miras' severed arm, a detail that appeared to be minor at the time, but now he attaches it to himself. As he now gains access to the angel's power, his hair turns silver like Goku's and his movements become impossibly fluid. For a moment they appear evenly matched, but Moro's body wasn't trained to handle this power. He starts swelling up, losing control and experiencing what happened to Sagambo when Moro force-fed him more energy than his body could contain. Moro killed his own subordinate through power overload, and now he is suffering the same fate. Goku urges him to release the power before it destroys him, but Moro responds by merging with the earth itself. The sequence is genuinely horrifying. Moro sinks into the ground, his consciousness spreads through the planet's core, and his face emerges from cliff sides. His hands burst from the soil, and the entire world becomes an extension of his body. Now his fate is tied to the planets. If Moro is killed, then everyone on Earth is also killed. field, and his body becomes a bomb that will annihilate the entire galaxy when it detonates. Whis and Beerus arrive to witness the situation, and even they are concerned. Beerus moves to intervene, which is surprising given his usual apathy towards mortal affairs, but he gets summoned by the Grand Priest before he can act. This may be related to Beerus breaking Angel Law. Before leaving, Whis gives Goku one piece of advice: destroy the crystal on Moro's forehead to force him to release the angel power without destroying Earth. While it's a simple concept, it's nightmarish in execution, especially when the target is merged with an entire planet. Vegeta returns to fight despite his exhaustion. As he uses Forced Spirit Fission, he punches the ground repeatedly, not attacking Moro directly, but extracting the stolen energy that's keeping him bloated and powerful. The technique works in reverse here, deflating Moro's planetary form until the crystal resurfaces on his forehead. Everyone donates their energy to Goku. This involves the entire Z roster, everyone at Kami's Lookout, Goten and Trunks from Monster Island, but it's still not enough. Goku can only reach Super Saiyan Blue, not Ultra Instinct, and the crystal still is out of reach. Then all of a sudden, a massive surge of divine power arrives from an unexpected source. Jacko had found Buu, who momentarily awakened the Grand Supreme Kai Haki within himself. The Grand Supreme Kai located Oob, the human reincarnation of Kid Buu, who carries the divine power that originally belonged to the Grand Supreme Kai before the split. This kid in a remote village, completely unaware of his cosmic significance, unknowingly donates his godly energy to a battle happening on the other side of the world. The lore payoff here is excellent. With Oob's divine energy added to the mix, Goku manifests something unprecedented, a massive ethereal avatar of himself, composed entirely of golden ki. This is large enough to dwarf the planet-merged Moro. This giant energy construct restrains Moro's planet-born arms, while Goku's physical body leaps forward and shatters the crystal with a single devastating punch. Moro crumbles, with his body disintegrating into particles that scatter across the atmosphere. The Earth survives as the universe takes a collective sigh of relief. The epilogue of the Moro arc handles things amazingly. The Dragon Balls restore planets that Moro destroyed. A ceremony at Galactic Patrol headquarters honors Goku, Vegeta, Jacko, and even Beerus, who it turns out didn't die permanently. Shin, the current Supreme Kai, offered to sacrifice his own life in order to restore Beerus. The Grand Priest was moved by this gesture and chose a different solution, erasing Beerus himself, but then restoring him as a mortal. Beerus lives but without his angel powers. Whether if he can still use Ultra Instinct is ambiguous. The price for all this intervention is that Beerus and Shin have to play with the Zenos as punishment for allowing an angel to be compromised. Peace returns, but 7-3's head survives Moro's death, and he's been recovered by an unknown party. The data stored within 7-3's head appears to be intact. While it may seem like an insignificant detail in the immediate aftermath following Moro's death, but this directly sets up the events that follow. After the Moro arc, we have the Granolah arc, which opens with a tone that's radically different from Moro's cosmic horror. We meet Granolah, a Cerulean bounty hunter with a cybernetic companion called Oatmeal. He's recovering 7-3's head from a criminal organization. His right eye is special as it's evolved for sharp shooting. He's capable of tracking blood flow and cell movement to identify vital points. He is the last of his kind, harboring hatred for two groups, Frieza's army and the Saiyans who slaughtered his people 40 years ago. Granolah returns to planet Cereal, now inhabited by Sugarians, as they have purchased the world after the Ceruleans' genocide. He lives in the mountains, refusing to integrate with the new civilization, keeping the ruins of his hometown visible as a constant reminder of what was taken from him. An elderly Namekian called Monaito lives with him, the only other survivor who remembers the old days. Monaito possesses his own set of Dragon Balls. These are smaller than Earth's because they were created by a single Namekian rather than a collective. They require only 2 Dragon Balls to summon their dragon Trombo. When Granolah learns that Frieza has been revived, 50 years of suppressed rage explodes to the surface. He steals the second Dragon Ball from a research institute and makes his wish, which is to make him the greatest warrior in the universe. Torombo can do it, but there's a condition. The wish can only draw out Granola's latent potential. To make him truly the strongest, it requires sacrificing his lifespan. Granolah doesn't hesitate. He trades 150 years of his remaining life, leaving himself with only 3 years left. Meanwhile, on Beerus's planet, Goku trains with Whis while Vegeta catches Beerus's attention with questions about his own path to power. Whis explains that Goku needs to use Ultra Instinct naturally in his base form rather than treating it as a transformation. Doing so will eliminate the stamina drain entirely, with the silver-haired form reserved as a last resort for surpassing his limits. Beerus takes a different approach with Vegeta, confronting him about Saiyan history and the weight of ancestral sins that Vegeta clearly still carries. When Vegeta insists that the Saiyans carve their own fate, Beerus drops a bombshell. He was the one who suggested Frieza destroy planet Vegeta. Vegeta attacks him immediately, Blue Evolution full force as he's in absolute fury. Beerus swats him aside like nothing and uses Hakai, destruction energy, in order to disintegrate part of Vegeta's armor. The lesson here is brutal, but it's important. Clinging to guilt over sins that aren't yours will forever limit your growth. Before creation comes destruction. Vegeta needs to destroy his attachment to the past before he can create a new path forward. The Heaters are an organization of 4 siblings who have been controlling information and manipulating galactic politics from the shadows. Alec, the leader, has ambitions of usurping Frieza and taking control of his army. When they learn about Granola's newfound power through 7-3's recorded memories, Alec sees an opportunity. He can't let Granolah kill Frieza directly. The Heaters want to control the Frieza force, not destroy it, but maybe Granolah could weaken himself fighting someone else first. Using Zuno, the omniscient being who knows virtually everything, the Heaters locate Goku and Vegeta. Oil and Maki travel to Earth with a fake story about needing help against a powerful villain, offering Sky Gold as payment. They steal the Dragon Radar while Bulma contacts the Saiyans. Goku and Vegeta take the bait as the prospect of fighting the strongest being in the universe is irresistible to them. They don't suspect that this is a trap. The Heaters contact Granolah separately, telling him that Frieza discovered his assassination plans and dispatched 2 Saiyan assassins. Granolah's response is exactly what they hoped for. Saiyans coming to my planet once again. It's 50 years overdue, but revenge will finally be mine. When Goku and Vegeta arrive on planet Cereal, they expect a straightforward villain encounter. The Heaters described someone wreaking havoc, threatening innocence, standard hero stuff. Instead, they're immediately sniped by precision ki blasts from an impossible distance. Granolah's evolved right eye lets him target vital points from kilometers away. The strikes are aimed at specific nerve clusters and pressure points, far beyond ordinary marksmanship. One blast hits Goku in a crucial point on the back of his neck, knocking him unconscious instantly. Their first Senzu Bean is gone before the fight has even started. This detail matters for the arc's pacing. Resources are finite and carelessness will have consequences. Goku takes the first round, cycling through Super Saiyan God then Blue, then combining Ultra Instinct with his Super Saiyan forms. His accuracy improves with each transformation. The stronger the form, the better his instincts function. This establishes a rule that becomes important later. Ultra Instinct's effectiveness scales with the power being channeled through it. He finally reaches perfected Ultra Instinct. Silver hair flowing, movements impossibly graceful. At this level, he seems unstoppable. Granolah is unable to detect any vital points to exploit because Goku's body has no predictable patterns. His autonomous defense counters everything. Victory is inevitable. The fight choreography through this section is impressive in the manga, with Granolah firing his precision shots that would ordinarily kill any other opponent. But Goku's silver-haired form dodges them without conscious thought. When Goku counterattacks, his blows land with devastating efficiency. He even uses telekinesis to suspend Granolah mid-air and pummel him with ki blasts, a technique we rarely see him use. The catch is that the Granolah he's fighting is a clone. The real Granolah split his power at the beginning, sending a duplicate to wear Goku down while conserving his full strength. It's a brilliant tactical move that exploits Ultra Instinct's primary weakness, which is stamina drain. The longer Goku maintains perfected Ultra Instinct, the less accurate that it becomes. The clone doesn't need to win, it just needs to run out the clock. When Goku's accuracy finally drops from the extended battle, the real until Granolah teleports in and strikes a pressure point directly over his heart. The attack literally stops Goku's heart briefly. Goku goes down, reverting to base form mid-collapse. This moment carries a ton of weight. While Goku's form is stronger, his technique is superior, but Granolah outthought him by using strategy to neutralize overwhelming power. To be honest, this is really refreshing within Dragon Ball, where pure strength usually trumps over everything. Vegeta then steps up as he transforms to Blue Evolution and demonstrates his destruction ability, but Granolah's is stronger. This Cerulean destroys a larger rock, then sends Vegeta flying with a devastating counter. The fight proceeds with Granolah dominating through superior technique and raw power. Vegeta admits that Granolah has surpassed him in both areas, yet he refuses to accept defeat, making an observation that cuts to the heart of the arc's themes. Rankings only reflect a moment in time. Granolah lands a pressure point attack that should finish Vegeta. His armor shatters as he drops to base form, and then he starts laughing. He says, "What fun, this feeling, it's been ages. No planet to protect, no people to save, just me immersed in battle. My happy place, just the thing to get a battle-crazed Saiyan's blood pumping." Vegeta's aura ignites into something completely new, as we see rich purple flames that make Goku sense godly energy, but not the kind that he's familiar with. Granolah's overwhelming advantage vanishes as Vegeta is suddenly matching him blow for blow. Where Ultra Instinct is about defense, the body moving independently to avoid damage, this new form of Vegeta's is about offense, converting damage into power. The more Vegeta gets hurt, the stronger he becomes. Kakarot's body may have a mind of its own, but I'm all ego. In fact, go ahead and call this Ultra Ego. The battle shifts multiple times before Monaito intervenes, revealing a truth that changes everything. Granolah wasn't saved by the Heaters. He was saved by a Saiyan named Bardock. 40 years ago, Bardock stayed behind after the Cerulean genocide to get healing from Monaito. He witnessed the Heaters brokering the sale of planet cereal to the Sugarians and overheard their plans to eventually betray Frieza. When baby Granolah screamed at the sight of a Saiyan, the Heaters heard. Alec shot Granolah's mother dead without hesitation as he ordered Bardock to kill the child and the Namekian. Instead, Bardock attacked the Heaters and gave them a chance to escape. Gas, the youngest and strongest Heater, fought Bardock and nearly won by unleashing his inner nature, a berserker transformation that costs him his sanity. But Bardock pushed past his limits, achieving something remarkable for a low-class warrior as he actually defeated Gas. This revelation destroys Granolah's entire worldview. The man he's been working for killed his mother. A Saiyan saved his life. Everything that he believed is wrong. While the fighters are reeling from these revelations, Alec uses the Cerulean Dragon Balls to make Gas the strongest in the universe. Gas arrives as a middle-aged looking version of himself, vastly more powerful than Granolah ever was. He easily handles everyone. Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah together are unable to touch him. His energy constructs immobilize opponents instantly. His precision allows him to destroy Granolah's ship from miles away while barely paying attention. Goku tries to escape using instant transmission, warping to distant planets to recover and regroup. Gas follows him instantly. The chase spans multiple worlds. Goku teleports to a populated city as Gas arrives seconds later. Goku teleports again to protect the civilians. Planet after planet, Gas pursues relentlessly. There's no distance far enough to escape someone who can sense your energy across galaxies. The sequence emphasizes Gas's overwhelming advantage. He not only outpowers Goku, he also denies him any tactical options. Running isn't going to work against him, and the only path forward is through Gas himself. Back on Serial, Alec confronts the wounded Granolah directly. The Heater leader has never been a fighter, but he doesn't need to be against someone this weakened. You should have died 40 years ago with your mother. He shoots Granolah through the torso, the same way that he killed his mother. Alec wants Granolah to feel the connection in his final moments. He leaves Granolah for dead just like he left Muesli all those years ago, but Monaito still has healing abilities. The elderly Namekian drags himself to Granolah's body and begins channeling what little power he has left. His healing ability has grown stronger through decades of use. It is enough to keep Granolah alive. Vegeta finds the discarded Senzu bean and faces a choice. His body is wrecked. Taking the Senzu would restore him to fighting condition, but instead he gives it to Granolah. Your revenge must be satisfied, he tells the Cerulean. Settle this grudge with your own strength. It's a huge moment as Vegeta acknowledges that some battles aren't his to fight. He supports an enemy-turned ally, refusing to take the easy path. His character growth across these story arcs has been remarkable to witness. The fight against Gas pushes both Goku and Vegeta to their breaking point. Vegeta uses Ultra Ego to its fullest extent, converting accumulated damage into attacks that actually hurt Gas. But Ultra Ego has a major weakness. Enough damage in a single blow can end the fight before the power conversion kicks in. Gas exploits this ruthlessly. While Vegeta desperately holds the line, Goku meditates on his own Ultra Instinct. Whis told him to find his own version, not to copy the angels. But what does this exactly mean? Bardock Scouter holds the answer. Audio recordings from 40 years ago play Bardock's voice telling Monaito and Granolah to stay alive. Something in those words triggers buried memories. Goku finally remembers Bardock and Gine sending him away from planet Vegeta, telling him the same thing. The realization crystallizes something fundamental. Saiyan pride isn't about atoning for ancestral sins or pursuing revenge. It's about having total faith in your own power, accepting your nature, and sticking to your convictions. When Goku transforms again, it's not the silver-haired perfected Ultra Instinct. It's Ultra Instinct Sign, but charged with raw Saiyan emotion rather than tranquil calm. For that silver-haired Ultra Instinct to work, I need to be calm and tranquil. But in this form, I could put my emotions to work for me, and believe me, my heart's not calm. Gas recognizes something in Goku's eyes. They appear to have the same fire that he saw in Bardock 40 years ago, the same terrifying determination which haunts his nightmares. The fight reaches its climax with Granolah landing a devastating shot on Gas after sacrificing more of his shortened lifespan to power the attack. Gas falls, appearing to be defeated as Granolah chooses not to kill him. He's abandoned his pursuit of revenge. But Elec isn't finished. He reveals that making Gas the strongest required sacrificing most of Gas's lifespan. The power is burning through him at an accelerated rate. Gas rises again, more powerful than ever. His body is visibly decaying as he burns through whatever time he has left. And then Frieza arrives. The tyrant has been aware of the Heaters conspiracy for 40 years. He allowed them to operate because their intelligence network benefited his army, but they've outlived their usefulness. Frieza kills Gas with a single strike, running his hand through the Heater's gut while barely transformed. He obliterates Elec just as casually, then he turns his attention to Goku and Vegeta. On one of my conquered worlds, I found a room that causes time to flow differently. I garnered 10 years worth of training. He reveals a new transformation, Black Frieza. In a single attack, he defeats Goku in true Ultra Instinct and Vegeta in Ultra Ego at the same time. Frieza chooses to spare them not out of mercy, but because killing them now would be unsatisfying. He wants them to grow stronger so that he can humiliate them properly. He recruits the surviving Heaters, Oil and Maki, as servants and departs. The arc ends with the Oracle Fish's prophecy remaining ambiguous. She predicted the strongest warrior in the universe would rise up. Was it Granolah, Gas, or was it Frieza all along? As some have theorized that he emerged from another dimension where the Dragon Ball wishes that Granolah and Gas did were unable to account for him. So why do the Moro and Granolah arcs work? Well, firstly, let's talk about Vegeta's character. The Battle of Gods arc gave him rage moments, punching Beerus harder than Super Saiyan 3 Goku managed, but that went nowhere in terms of permanent power gains. Resurrection F arc had him dominate Golden Frieza only for Goku to get the kill anyway. The Tournament of Power had Vegeta eliminated before the climax as he watched Goku achieve Ultra Instinct from the sidelines. But these two recent arcs finally delivered something different. Forced Spirit Fission is Vegeta's technique, developed developed through his own training on his own terms. It addresses his philosophical opposition to fusion and absorption. An Ultra Ego is even more significant. The form operates philosophically opposite to Ultra Instinct. Where Ultra Instinct prioritizes defense through automated dodging, Ultra Ego prioritizes offense through damage conversion. The more Vegeta gets hurt, the stronger he becomes. It's a form that rewards stubbornness, pride, and the willingness to take punishment in pursuit of victory. This is Vegeta's entire character condensed into a power-up. The training that led to both techniques matters too. Vegeta went to Yardrat, a planet associated with Goku, and learned something entirely different than what Goku learned. He trained under Beerus and emerged with destruction-based techniques rather than Ultra Instinct. Every step of Vegeta's development in these arcs separates his path from Goku's rather than copying it. And the fact that Black Frieza still one-shots him in the end doesn't diminish these achievements. If anything, it sets up future arcs perfectly. Vegeta has his own power system now, and he'll iterate and improve on his own terms, pursuing Ultra Ego mastery while Goku pursues true Ultra Instinct refinement. Then we have the villains of both of the arcs. Moro was ancient, patient, and strategic. He didn't rush into confrontations that he couldn't win. When the Saiyans first challenged him, he tested their abilities rather than going all out immediately. He used his magic creatively, weaponizing planets themselves as offensive tools. His final gambit of merging with Earth showed genuine tactical thinking rather than just let's get stronger and punch harder. His age gave him gravitas, as his history with the Supreme Kai, his millennia of planet-devouring experience, all of it created a sense that this villain mattered on a cosmic scale. Then we have the Heaters, who represent a different type of threat entirely. Information brokers who manipulate conflicts rather than participating directly. Alec never throws a single punch in the Granolah arc, yet he's responsible for almost every bad thing that happens. He turns Granolah against Goku and Vegeta. He makes Gas the strongest in the universe. He sacrifices his own brother's lifespan without hesitation. Gas evolves from threat to tragic figure over the runtime of the Granolah arc. He is being conditioned to have loyalty to Alec. He's a weapon in his brother's hands, programmed to obey rather than think. Now, before this arc, Bardock existed in two iterations of his character. We have the TV anime version from the TV special, where he foresaw Planet Vegeta's destruction and he died fighting Frieza. Then there's his version from Dragon Ball Minus, where he and his wife Jinne see off Goku, who is sent to planet Earth. The Granolah arc gives Bardock complexity. His decision to save Cerulean survivors contradicts the Saiyan stereotype that we've internalized over decades of watching the series. He fights Gas without any personal stake, as it seems as though he's just helping a Namekian and a child who needed help. You could say that this is contradictory to the way that Saiyans have been portrayed, especially from the era that Bardock is from. When Monaito uses the Dragon Balls at his request, Bardock wishes for his sons to thrive. The audio recording becomes the Granolah arc's emotional anchor. Bardock's voice preserved in his old scouter telling Monaito and Granolah to stay alive. This is key to unlocking Goku's memories of when his parents had sent him to Earth. While the characterization of Saiyans and the continuity may be questioned, it is nice to see father and son connect across 40 years in this brief moment here. The conclusion of the Granolah arc has to be the biggest unanswered tease in the history of manga. Frieza has always been the franchise's most iconic villain, but his power level plateaued years ago. Golden Frieza was impressive, but it was ultimately surpassed by Super Saiyan Blue. His resurrection attempt kept failing to deliver lasting impact, but then Black Frieza changes this completely. 10 years of training in a hyperbolic time chamber equivalent on some random planet Frieza conquered, this has produced a transformation that casually defeats Goku's true Ultra Instinct and Vegeta's Ultra Ego with a single punch. The future of the Dragon Ball Super manga is going to have a massive shadow of Black Frieza casted over it. How do you catch up to someone who has had 10 years of uninterrupted training? Is it true that Frieza is in fact the strongest warrior in the universe now? Is he stronger than Beerus? With the Moro arc being announced for an anime adaptation during the Genki Damatsuri event in January of this year, we can expect the anime to release sometime in late 2027 or 2028. What are your hopes for the anime adaptation of the Moro arc? Do you think the Granolah arc will get a anime adaptation too? What are your favorite moments from both of these arcs that we've talked about within this video? If there's anything that I've forgotten to mention about the Moro or Granolah arcs, then let me know by continuing joining the discussion in the comments, and lastly, thanks for making it to the end of this one, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.